Computers, a wonder of modern engineering and the revolutionary concept in the war on information. Let's take a scholarly brief look as to what the foundations of this technology are. The first computer that in any way, shape, or form resembled modern computers was Charles Babbage's analytical engine built in 1835. It operated using devices such as cams, gears, and shafts and was powered by a steam engine. About a century later, in the 1930s and 40s, computers were built with new electromagnetic relays. The relays were simple mechanical devices that performed basic true-false logic. The reliability of relays was proven by the German designer Konrad Zuse and his construction of the Z3 aircraft analysis computer. The advancement of electromagnetic relays further led to the development of the vacuum tube, which in turn helped the development of the ENIAC, an American wartime development as well. However, just as vacuum tubes rendered electromagnetic relays obsolete, so did the development of the transistor by Bell Laboratories in 1947 render vacuum tubes obsolete. The transistor, based on Boolean algebra generally theorized by George Boole in the mid-19th century, is widely regarded as one of the most prominent advancements of the 20th century. Shortly before that, in 1945, von Neumann paved the way for first-generation computers by developing the CPU and RAM for dedicated or non-network based computers. After the introduction of the transistor, however, in 1948, the University of Manchester in England developed the SSEM, the small-scale experimental machine. This would later become the prototype for the first official commercial computer, the Ferranti Mark I, in 1951. The 1950s are generally considered as the decade of second-generation computers. Computers implemented the new high-level computer languages to program computers instead of the long and tedious binary code. Compare this to this. In the 1960s, the computer was officially recognized as a field of science and was divided into three main branches: computer architecture, software, and theory. The third generation of computers also came around in the 1960s. They included advances such as operating systems, compilers, and time sharing. Time sharing, although not a radically new concept, was yet another enormous key towards the modern computer. It allowed multiple computers to interact with a central computer, which was essentially the first step towards a fully functioning electronic network. From the 1970s and to the present, computers are considered to be fourth generation, although Generation 5 computers do not appear to be all that far into the future. When a corporation called Intel created the first microprocessor, it made it much more realistic for a person to own a personal computer. This led to a colossal boom in the computer industry, paving the way for the beginning of two corporations that we all know and love, Apple and Microsoft. The last major and available to the public advancement in computers was the development of the World Wide Web by Timothy Berners-Lee, made popular in the 1990s as it allowed all kinds of media files to be displayed and otherwise dealt with while online. Computers, a great source to discover and share information, and a great tool for opinionating the masses. The computer and the World Wide Web together indeed form a massive channel of information and power, accessible to anyone who has access to the network. However, recently, the problems of censorship, net neutrality, and privacy rights have been escalating greatly with little to no media coverage. The computer and internet are ours. They are free, next to the sweat and genius of tens of hundreds of scientists who dedicated themselves for it. But let's not forget Thomas Jefferson's words. If a nation expects to be ignorant and free, it expects what never was and never will be. Remember, the fathers of this country fought for freedom for a reason.